It was really great to be a part of such a rich discussion and looking at the different intersecting ideas of what it means to be a man and how these identities of masculinity impact our mental health. And really, again, recognizing that the spectrum of manhood, that there's also different lived experiences. And so whether you're an Aboriginal man, you're a queer man of color, you're a South Asian man with a disability, you're a man who identifies as someone who loves other men. All these different things will impact your relationship with your own mental health and mental wellness. And it's important to really look at how these things play out, and they can be invisible to each other, that we don't see and realize the things that many of us are navigating or dealing with. But how can we create space and permission to have these conversations and to learn from each other and listen from each other? And in part, being able to open up and talk about some of the struggles and the challenges that we're facing in our own unique way as individuals, and what that looks like as far as the different layers of our identity, but then how that can help us relate to others, but also learn from others about how we can support them and recognize when maybe we're part of or contributing to things that will reinforce negative stereotypes or barriers for them to be able to come forward and talk about ways towards their own idea of mental health and mental wellness. So I think it's great to talk more and more and to normalize the fact that it's cool to talk about this stuff. And when we create permission amongst ourselves as men to have these conversations, then we can get into the deeper layers around vulnerability. And I think one of the pieces too is that men need to learn how to have these conversations, not just with people of other genders, but us as men as well. Women are so accustomed to becoming the mothers for so many men in their lives and doing a lot of what we will call emotional labor work. But how can we as men support each other and then do some of those conversations together? And it's not about talking and opening up and being vulnerable because there's a reward, like trying to impress someone romantically or sexually, but it's opening up and talking because this is a way to kind of do some inner healing and do that with each other as men. So creating those kind of spaces where we bond and really have deep, meaningful conversation and are able to be vulnerable with each other and talk about whether they're dealing with depression or struggling with issues or contemplating suicide, that we can create space where we can be there for each other and we're not trying to perform for each other, that everything's okay, everything's cool, man. No, it's just like, actually, I'm struggling right now, and I really appreciate that you're here to listen and talk, and just to listen and to be there for each other. So I think it's great that these conversations are going, and it's great that Healthy Minds Canada is trying to get those conversations happening on different levels.